What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Frank, and in front of me is the 2023 Porsche Cayman 718 GT4 RS, and it has the YSAC package. Let's get into the review. Alright guys, so before we get into today's video, I just wanted to quickly give you guys all a shout out. The amount of support that I've received on my recent videos and the amount of subscribers that I now have has been nothing short of amazing. Starting this channel with nothing, it's slowly growing into something which is just, I can't thank you guys all enough. And remember, if you're not subscribed, click the subscription button, hit the notification bell, and comment below too. And make sure you like this video if you enjoy these types of videos and this type of content. So let's get into the reason why you guys clicked on the video. This is the 718 Cayman GT4 RS, and it has the YSAC package. This car is currently available. It may be sold already at Porsche South Shore in Freeport. There's their information. And I gotta say, the price that this car is, which we'll get into, is not terrible for what it is and for what's currently on the market and what's available for these types of cars. This one, the exterior color, this is a paint to sample color. It's called Ivory. It's about a $13,000 option. The current trend, as you guys can see with Porsche and their colors and their paint to samples, is that they're all very expensive. So again, we have this ivory color on here. It's a beautiful color in person. It's a little bit like a, if you guys saw my other video about the Turbo GT, the Cayenne Turbo GT, it's a little similar. It's a little more yellow than it is tan. So it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder with this car. So again, let's start off though on the front end of this car. Coming down here, you could see we have the large fully carbon fiber hood on here. We have the sticker Porsche badge, again, because they don't use the emblems for weight saving reasons. We have two large air inlet scoops on here. On the front fenders on here, we have the same kind of cuts in there too, helping with the aerodynamics of the car. Now going onto the front bumper, this car is extremely aggressive. It has a ton of aerodynamic features on here, such as this massive front black lip. It's a flat black, and it's also embroidered with the GT4 RS name. So on each radiator on here too, we have a large grille in front of it. We have a LED light on here. That will be your turn signal. And then under here and on around there again is that same flat black kind of material that the front grille has, and it's just for aerodynamic purposes. And then on here we have these little shark fins too that go up on each side here too. And again on here they're all active. Obviously these do cut through to the other side. As you guys can see, these are fully functional. You can put your hand in there and get onto the other side, so air does flow through, which is a nice little feature. Obviously on a car like this, it is a full track performance race car. All right guys, so coming down now to the wheels on the car, which are obviously very important. This is like a beauty's in the eye of the beholder kind of thing. They're blue. They're very blue. But I like them, and someone out there probably doesn't. But anyway, these are, it's an extra option for that $600. It's the satin deep sea blue wheels. They still have the standard center wheel lock on here with the RS badge on there. We have carbon ceramic brakes, and we have Dunlop Sport Max tires on here too, so they're very, very sticky tires. They are 245 by 36 by 20s on the front. The rear is obviously going to be significantly wider, which we'll get into in a second. So it's an interesting color combo, to say the least. It's definitely someone's personal choice whether you would want them to be this color or not. I would probably get them in black instead of blue, but I do like the blue. It does look nice in person. Again, though, that's kind of everyone's choice. The good and fun thing about Porsche is how much you're able to kind of make your car your own, and that's the point of these cars, is to make it your own and kind of customize it to whatever you want. So it looks nice in person, but again, it's up to, you know, whatever you wanted, you know, the personal choice of whoever's buying the car. Coming right behind it though, which is now new with all of the GT3, the GT3RS, the GT4RS, is we have this little cut right in here. It's just it gives a little bit of a better look, and then on top of that, it has a little bit of a increased aerodynamic flow compared to like the standard body, which is just going to be sticking right out in here, so air kind of gets stuck in here. It's a little bit more of a streamlined look. This is also wrapped in PPF from the factory, so you don't have to worry as much about rock chips happening in here. Obviously, this is going to be an extremely prone to rock chip area in here with these extremely sticky tires. So let's go ahead though, let's continue down the side of this car and let's get to the rear end, let's get to that motor, because I know that's why you guys are also here. All right, so now coming along to the side of the car, we have this extremely large air intake right in here. It's active, it flows right in, and it sucks air right into the motor, helping cool it down. This car needs a lot of different areas. Right on top of here too is another air intake, which I'll show you, that it connects through the back of the car, and it gives it a really nice look when you're looking at it from the trunk or when you're actually inside of the car. It's a really cool like little feature that they added. Again, we'll check that out in a second. Coming onto the rear end though, we have those same tires back here, but these are 295s by 30s by 20s. Again, it's the same Dunlop tire on here, and it's that deep sea blue. We have carbon ceramic brakes back here as well. This car obviously does need to stop extremely fast. So let's go ahead though, let's look at this upper little hood scoop that it has. So you guys can see it's right up here, this little air scoop that it has on the side. It's like a side inlet, side intake that it has on here. And now what's really cool about this is if we open it up and you see it right here, it actually connects all the way down there right into the motor. So let's go ahead though, let's pop the trunk on this, and you guys can see how it connects right through here. It's all carbon fiber, and it's on both sides too. It's a nice, really cool feature that they added into this car. It looks awesome, especially when the back here is open, and when you're sitting in there and looking back and seeing that, it's a really nice feature that they have too. Let's go ahead though, let's close this and let's continue with the extra. All right guys, so you know it wouldn't be a GT4RS if it didn't have that massive wing on it. Some people may say it's overkill. I love it. It looks awesome. It's so aggressive from here, and looking at it in person. On the sides, we have the ginormous GT4RS imprinted on this metal on here. We have its full carbon fiber. It's mounted from the top. It hooks around. It looks so good. It is so aggressive. I cannot emphasize that enough. Also on the lower end of the car, it's a rather standard rear end Cayman look. We have the taillights in here. We have the black Porsche badging right here. We have your plate, and we have your dual exhaust down here. Now coming down to the lower exhaust portion on here too, we have another flat black. It's not carbon fiber or anything like that. Rear diffuser. Otherwise, everything back here is relatively similar. Again, you have that monstrous GT4RS wing on here, which I think really makes the car. It gives it so much of a more aggressive look. I know they do look nice without wings on them, but on a car like this with all of the other aerodynamic packages that it does have, the wing is a must. Also on top of here too, we have the Porsche put right into the glass up here, and then on the passenger side it's going to be the same exact thing. The only difference is that you do have your gas cap, and like any other Porsche, it's right up here. You give it a click, you open it up, and there it is. Let's go ahead though, let's talk about this motor. Now jumping into the rear end of the car, unfortunately you can't see much. It's extremely covered. It has this large carbon fiber cover right on it, again with those two air scoops on each side, and that's really all you're gonna get. We have two areas to fill up fluids on here. We have your water and your oil, and that's it. We have a little bit of a storage area, but unfortunately, again, as with most modern cars in today's era, it is all covered. However, let's talk about the motor. So it's a 4.0 liter naturally aspirated 6-cylinder. It's pushing out 493 horsepower with about 330 pound-feet of torque. So it's not the torquiest, but the power is definitely up there with the horsepower. So compared to the standard GT4 Cayman, it's got about 70 more horsepower, and it outputs that in the best way possible. On the Nürburgring, it did do a lap better than the GT4 Cayman in about 24 seconds. That was the time difference. So it is significantly faster than its previous model. The motor in here is just a 911 GT4 motor. It is literally turned around and put in backwards and reversed. That's all it is. It's a 911 GT4 motor that's flipped around and put right in here. So it's obviously put on a lighter car. so it gives it a little bit more power. But compared to the normal Cayman GT4, it's gonna have about 70-80 more horsepower than its previous model. Pair that with the PDK transmission here and you have a pure track monster. Obviously I would like a manual, but in this case the PDK transmission just suits it so well and allows it to go around tracks extremely quick. Let's go ahead guys too, and let's get a cold start and let's listen to what this motor really sounds like, because the exhaust is amazing. Alright guys, and I hope you enjoyed that little clip of the exhaust right there. It is definitely a phenomenal sound, and it's something that I could listen to all day, every day, even from a stock standpoint. I know you can modify pretty much everything in the world, including this one right here, but I don't really know if I would touch it on this car. I just like the way it is as is. We're now gonna get inside of the new GT4. Oh my god, it's like a goddamn race car in here. Let's close up the door. We are now inside of the new Cayman GT4RS. It's a really nice feeling in here. I love these new Porsche. I just love Porsche in general. I was never that kind of a guy, but I now see why everyone likes them. It is such a little track monster, this car. It's phenomenal. So, first impressions getting in here. Number one, obviously it smells great. Number two, you are surrounded by Alcantara. It is everywhere. It is on the headrest. It is the entire dashboard. It is the glove box. It's the steering wheel. It's the side armrests. It's the center glove. It's the little armrest in the middle. There's a lot of Alcantara everywhere. Even the shift boot is Alcantara on this car, which makes it gives it that kind of false manual look, but I still like it. So what they changed on the new GT4 is there's actually a new option, and I happen to be sitting on it right now. That new option is 3D printed seats. So these seats that I'm sitting on are 3D printed, and you can see the 3D printed mesh, and it's almost like a memory foam when you're sitting on it. This car is also optioned out with the deep sea blue stitching, so the YSAC RS package on here is all in blue. The center of the seats are blue. The seat belts are that dark blue. The door handles to get out of the car, which is just this little tab right here that you pull. It's a little strap that you pull and then it opens up. That is also blue. It's just like kind of those little things. This car has 11 miles on it right now, so it is pretty much brand new. It is the standard gauge cluster as if any other GT car has had in the previous years. We have a screen on the right side and we have analog gauges on the left showing your miles per hour and your RPMs in the center, and it also shows you your gear you're in and everything like that. We have on here also, that is option on here, is a front end lift. And that's really it. We have your standard control buttons in the middle, like for your PDK, for your sport mode, your suspension button, and the button to open up your valves for your exhaust to make it a little louder. The steering wheel feels great. It's the Alcantara steering wheel. I know some people don't really like that because as you start to sweat, the Alcantara will begin to kind of get pushed down and degrade a little bit over time. Same thing with the yellow that's up here on the center to let you know that that's the center of your steering wheel. That also I have seen does get dirty over time, so some people just opt out and get a carbon fiber steering wheel somewhere else. On here too are fully metal paddle shifters. They feel phenomenal when you click them. They sound great. Again, if you're gonna have to get a PDK, at least that does feel nice. The key on here is a rather simple key. There's nothing special to it. On here now in the center it is actually a touchscreen in the infotainment system, and that's really it. There's not too much going on in here. At the end of the day, it is meant to be a race car. So you're not getting this car for luxury or for comfort. You're getting it because you want to drive the track with it. So it's the perfect mix. At least you can get air conditioning, you can listen to your music, and you can also go on the track whenever you want. There's only 2 seats. They are bucket seats. And then here again, you have this awesome view of your 2 air intakes that are sucking the air in. You can see the carbon fiber. The motor is right behind you. You can hear everything it's a really fun car to be in. I can't emphasize that enough. It's a really fun car. Obviously, these seats are manual. There's no automatic anything in here. It's just forward and back, and it only goes back a certain amount. So that's as far back as it gets, and I'm a little cramped in here. It's hugging me a little bit. So I'm 6'1", and it's really, you know, it's a little tight in here. But I could deal with it because it's a GT4 and it's, you know, it's a race car. So now coming onto the floorboards too on here, a little bit of a fun fact is that these are like rubber floor mats on here. So your feet are a little stickier on them so you don't slip around as much. And on the passenger side too, it does come with a fire extinguisher attached, obviously because race car. Anyway, on here too, we have the Y-Sack package on the passenger side, just where the cup holders are. The cup holders are like any other GT car. You give it a click, it folds down, and it exposes your 2 cup holders on here. Give them another click, and each cup holder will come out. All you want to do is when you close it, just literally close it back up, and it will lock back in place. That's really it for the interior of the car. There's nothing too much else going on in here. Again, it is very standard to previous model cars. The gear selector to change gears on here, instead of being a button on the front, the actual top of the button itself is a push. So you push the top of the gear selector down, and then you're able to switch through your gears that way. Also in here in the center, we have 1 cigarette lighter. Coming into here, onto the little armrest area, we have a little unlock on the passenger side. You lift it up, and we actually do have one kind of little comfort in here, a wireless phone charger. Yes, because yes. There's also 1 USB outlet, and that's just about all you're getting. So that's really it for in here. The last thing that we haven't seen yet is the little trunk space in the front, or the frunk. Let's go ahead, let's jump out now. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like and see if it really does make a difference. All right, so there's only 1 latch on here right here. Just go over, give it 1 little push, and there it is. So in here we do have the carpeted floor mats for the interior of the car, and we have a little bit of a frunk area down here too. That's really it that it does come with this car. It also does feature a car cover, which is pretty cool. So on here, it's just carpeted, and there's really nothing else on here. You do have your windshield washer fluid reservoir over there that you can fill it up, and that's really it. You could see too, so here on here is the exposed carbon fiber, the full carbon fiber hood that you have. You could see the little air inlets that are on this side. You can see how they flow down into here, and then there they go, straight down. Again, helping with the airflow and how this car pushes through. So that's really it for the little front area on here. Let's go ahead, let's give this a close. All right, so now let's talk about the price on this car. It's definitely not cheap, that's for sure, but it's not crazy expensive compared to other GT4RSs. So the base on a GT4 is $149,000. This one right here with taxes, fees, everything is being sold at $203,000. And that is including your $13,000 paint to sample option, your Y-Sack package, your 3D printed bucket seats, along with your painted wheels and a few other little goodies that are on there. So it's not the most terrible price, but it is definitely still pricey coming in for a sports car, obviously. So take that as you will. It is a phenomenal car though at the end of the day. So again, you're looking at $203,000 for this car right here. I do know of other ones that go for way higher than that. So again, this one is currently located at Porsche of South Shore in Freeport, but I believe again it is sold. All right guys, and that's gonna wrap up today's video. I really appreciate you all for tuning in. Remember, if you do like these types of videos, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know that when I post next. I really hope to own one of these cars one day. That's going to be my dream. That's going to be my goal that I'm going to be working for, especially here on this YouTube channel. So again, thank you all for your support over my recent videos. And without further ado, I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.